Surprise, surprise! Let's do that again. Hi, everyone. And, surprise. Hello. Oh, man, this is so weird. I'm obviously, I don't know if you can tell from the audio recording, but I'm not in the office today. I'm doing the usual podcast location, but surprise, I'm here. You can hear the anxiety pulsing through my veins as I'm recording outside in the general public, where anyone can hear me. But I've come out at the crack of dawn. I say crack of dawn, it's 9:15. But surprise, it's another episode of There's No Place Like Summer Camp, and yeah, it's good to be back, man. It's good to be back. I say I'm back. The whole situation with the podcast is basically what we're going to be doing is having special episodes every time. Well, from here on out, really, it's gone from being the weekly or bi-weekly, or should I say twice a week shows at one point during COVID, where we're now with episodes that are on a special occasion. And I thought, you know what, it's been a while since I last did a recording. The last episode was with Maisie Craddock, the YouTuber, where we did that interview, and it was really cool to be featured on her channel. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. But I'm here today with something a little different. It's not so much of an interview. This is just more of a sort of a life update, check in with you guys, give you a surprise sort of Monday podcast episode with whatever you're doing. I don't know, you're probably going to work, most of you. It could be, I don't know. I don't want to overthink what you're all doing. Getting into a bit of a rabbit hole there. So yeah, we're here with a special episode. It's sort of like a touch base episode, should I say, where just going to be like talking about what's been going on. Talking about what's been going on both in my life and what's going on with the podcast and the book, and I've got some cool updates to come. So what's been going on with me? It's been a mental, say, few months while all this quietness is happening on the podcast front. We've got a new child in the mix, should I say. So I've become a dad since the last podcast, and it's a big change in your life, man. It's big. It's a hefty change. Becoming a dad is mental. You know, there are videos out there. If you go to andrewwaterhouse.com, you can go to my blog. You'll be able to see my reaction to being told that I was going to be a dad, and the surprise on my face where I was like, wait, what? But yeah, she's here now. Rosie is here. And she's coming up to 6 months old now, which is mental. I don't know when the actual last podcast I recorded was, but it was definitely before she was born. So yeah, it's a big uphill learning curve. The first couple of months, brutal on both of us, really. It's a lot of learning, a lot of responsibility, a lot of buying things. But to be honest, over the course of the 6 months, Rosie has been absolutely fantastic baby to have. She's really brought the families together, both sides, being the first grandchild. That's the word. I was going to say granddaughter, but she's the first she's not the first grandson. You know what I mean. First grandchild on both sides, so she gets absolutely spoilt with kisses and hugs and gifts and you name it. But she's been a right angel. So yeah, basically that's been a massive change. She's nearly 6 months old now. And we're getting into that sort of routine and we have been for a short while, to be honest, where I'm more settled in my job and I've got more of the routine sort of hunkered down with who does what chores and who's the best at putting her to sleep, and sort of exchanging that information as well, so we can both be really good at all things. And it's been quite cool, to be honest, being a parent, because it's the small things where you're like, oh my God, she rolled herself over today. And that's massive news as a parent. Massive news. And you're just like, every tiny little thing you're absolutely flabbergasted by. So this week, for instance, she's started to do this wriggle sort of dance where she'll wriggle while she's on her back, almost like she's dancing. I'm getting attacked here. I don't know if you can hear me trying to flap away the flies. Yeah, so every little thing that she does, you're just like stunned and amazed by, and then you sort of forget as a parent that they're actually a human being. They're going to be doing human being things, and eventually she's going to start talking, start crawling, start walking, having a job, going to school, getting grades for things, maybe scoring a goal in a football team or something like that. It's just, as a parent, man, it's just like another world. You just think, holy shit, all these little things that this person's doing is something that I made. And it's just like, well, I hope I made anyway. Should we say that? Yeah, but it's been great. It's been great. And I think I'm going to probably it's probably a whole other podcast discussion on sort of what it's like to consider about your child going to summer camp. Do I want Rosie to go to summer camp? Do I want her to go to Scouts and Cubs in the UK, which is sort of the most similar experience to... Let me just check I'm still recording. Yes, sort of the most similar experience to Camp America as you get in the UK. But do I want her to go and volunteer and go and do all of those things? It's definitely worth a podcast discussion about. But anyway, been great news on that front. A lot of change, as you can expect. So, at the same time as Rosie's come about, there's been an update on the house. So you'll learn that this period has been so much change in my life. So we purchased a house. Didn't mean for it to happen this way, but we purchased a renovation project, semi-detached, 3-bedroom house. And we got that, I think, the month or the couple of weeks after Rosie was born. So for the past 6 months or so, we've been having to renovate the house alongside Rosie being around. We're still not moved in yet, 6 months down the line, but hopefully within the next month or two, we'll be in, settled. It's been a massive job on that front as well. So we're talking kitchen renovations, to rewiring, to gas leaks, to 2 water leaks that flooded the house. Responsibilities, man. I prefer the days of going to summer camp and just not having bills to pay and all those things. So, yeah, it's cool. That's been a massive change as well. So having our own house, we've always been renting, and to finally be able to buy a house, do it up, make it the way we wanted as well, it's going to be a massive change in our lives. So expect... I was going to record this episode as a video podcast, but I thought, you know what, rein it in, get that adrenaline down, calm down. I get so excited when I'm doing these podcasts. Rein it in, get off your high horse. Not doing a video podcast out in public when you can barely talk in public. So, with the new house, we're going to be having an office. That's one of the rooms that I was like, if we're getting this house, this room's going to be my office. I work from home a lot, so you might have seen in previous podcasts or YouTube clips that I've done, I've got I had an office at the previous place, and I've got a Camp America shrine with my with my Camp America shirts put up in a display box, so every time I walk into my office I see that camp shirts, and I remember all of those memories of how good it really was, with a couple of photos of the boys alongside. So I wanted a similar place in my new house. The new house is so much bigger and more appropriate for what we're going to be doing, both in terms of bringing up a family, but also working from home, having that space. And it's a large semi-detached home, so I guess we're gonna make that office a really cool place, and it will also probably end up with me having some sort of studio space as well. So I'm gonna have like a good recording setup, and I think in the next future special episodes I'm going to make them video based. So I know Spotify and other podcast platforms are pushing for the video podcasting space, so watch out for that soon as well. So we've got the studio, we've got a house, we've got a child. Is there anything else that's been cracking on in the back of my mind, keeping me occupied? Yes, change of job, throw that into the mix. So I got a bit frustrated at the last job with lack of opportunity and feeling like I'm like pulling the whole team, and without me the sort of team collapsed and things like that. So long story short, I was looking very sparingly at job positions. Operations manager is my current title, and I was just looking for similar sort of positions, found one, applied for one, and got the job. And it was so out of the blue, because normally I'm so used to applying for jobs, and I'm sure a lot of you can sort of empathize with this, is you apply for tons of jobs and people say, oh, you're not experienced enough, oh, you're not quite suited for this role, and you end up applying for hundreds and hundreds of jobs. But I'm at a place in my life now where I'm fucking 30 years old, still talking about summer camp, But at 30, you sort of have that experience behind you now. So I've got a couple of years experience doing operations manager positions. And basically what I do is stuff to do with web designers. I won't bore you with the details. So web design agency, operations manager is my background. And basically I've been, I applied for like one or two jobs and got a job, and I was like, oh shit, wasn't really seriously considering a move. I'm quite happy at this position. Long story short, again, got the job, moved on, the pay being 25% more than I was previously on, so it's kind of like an offer too good to refuse. But here we are, and it's a really good position, really good growth, and it means that I can provide for my family while we're in this transitional period of buying a house and raising a child. But all fun and games, and that's what experience brings. So speaking of websites and stuff, there's no place like summer camp. I've done some really sort of significant changes. I say sort of significant, they are significant changes to the website recently. If you haven't gone on in a while, or if you've never been onto the website before, go check it out. It's there'snoplacelikesummercamp.com, and on that website there's been overhaul to how we appear in Google now. So every podcast, even this one as I talk, is going to be transcribed into a blog post, so people who are searching for things like can I go to Camp America when I've got tattoos, that'll be translated by my bot into a blog post, and away we go. We get some more views and people. So I've seen a real growth in the podcast. If you don't follow me already on Twitter, at Andrew ANDROOW09, you might have seen I was really proud of the stats on Spotify recently. I had a like an end of year podcasters insights email come in from Spotify about how the podcast was doing, and it was like 400% growth in 2022, which is like, shit, like these are serious numbers now. It's starting to get good. So I do appreciate all of your guys' support. One of the things, oh my God, it's like a tiny ass little frog, the size of my thumbnail I've just seen. That's pretty cool. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up in this episode is a really good special offer for you guys this week. And that's why I wanted to record this podcast today and get it out on you'll hear this on Monday, this coming week, because we've got Prime Day on Amazon. I think it's the 12th and 13th of July, 2023, of course. So yeah, Prime Day is coming up, and I thought, let's hop on this. Let's try and boost or provide content for you guys at the cheaper rate. So I've knocked off 50% or 51%, I think it's technically, on There's No Place Like Summer Camp. I think it's just the ebook. I can't be 100% sure. But if you want to go check that out, go onto Amazon or go to there's no place like summercamp.com. You can click a link that will take you straight to the book, or just search on Amazon, There's No Place Like Summer Camp, and you can get the Kindle version of the book for, I think it's $3.99. And I'm like, oh, come on, this should be quite good. So I'm quite excited to hear what people think of the book. And if you have given it a read, or if you buy it, or, you know, take advantage of the 50% off, 51% off, please do leave a review. It really does help. You know, you can just whack a star rating. I don't really mind if you didn't like it, but the reviews really do help get the name out there. I think that's it. Let me just check. I've got a list of things. Let me just check. This better not stop recording. Okay, it's not stopped recording. Okay. Oh, yeah, I do have one more thing. So, I hope you have enjoyed this sort of like surprise podcast. I don't want to do these too often because, you know, these podcasts, they're a lot of work, you know, especially when you got a less than 6 month year old, plus a house to do up, and a new job. It's a lot, man. But I like to try and make time for you guys, talk to you, catch up with how things are going. I do, like I say, I do intend to one day do video podcasts, video interviews. I've got some ideas in the back of my mind. But one of the things I wanted to talk about in today's episode is I've seen Camp America are doing their own fucking they're doing their own fucking podcast. What's going on there? What's going on? I go away for like a few months and they hop straight on, yeah, they started to do their own podcast, so it's kind of interesting. I popped them at Twitter, so Camp America, if you're listening, go check your tweets. I did tweet you because I saw the launch tweet that basically said, oh, we've got a podcast now. I was like, what? So, yeah, it's an interesting time. It's, you know, I'm currently here walking around at 9 a.m. with my There's No Place Like Summer Camp t-shirt on. So if you haven't got that already, go check that out. I do have a merch store that's also available at there's no place like summercamp.com. But yeah, it's I forgot what I was saying now. Someone's here, so yeah, it's been it's 2023 now, so it's been 9 years since I last went to camp, but it's only been like 1 year since the book released. And for all that content of podcast episodes and website and merchandise store, it's good to finally see a bit of traction coming along. So I hope you enjoy the updates to my life, the podcast, the website. You've got the merch store as well. You've also got the 51% off the book for this week. It's only this week, by the way. I've done it for the whole week. So if you want to make the most of that, and you know what, something that I'm actually going to be picking up during this Prime Day, because I don't know why, But as you get older, you get more excited for sales and things and grabbing a bargain. So I've been looking forward to this Prime Day for a while. And what I'm going to be picking up in this Prime Day is actually a Kindle Paperwhite, but it's the kids version. Apparently that's supposed to be more value for money. So I'm going to be grabbing a Kindle that's got a backlit screen, and Natasha's going to love that because my current setup for reading books at night involves a neck light that goes around the back of my neck with two little pronged like light bulbs coming out of each side of my neck, and it just like, even though it says it focuses the light onto the book, it's nothing quite like a backlit screen, sort of similar to how you get on a phone. So that's what I'm going to be picking up during the Prime Day sales. I'm also looking at a home gym, maybe getting like a rowing machine, maybe a running machine. There's some other bits for the house. I want to get like a vending. They've got these, like, you know, when you go to a vending machine and they've got the cans of Coke or whatever in the machine, and you see them push the Coke to the front after you push the numbers in and give you money over. They've got something similar for a fridge. So I've been getting all this nice technology and appliances and new things for the house. We've got carpets coming in the next couple of weeks. We've got a carpenter coming around to fix these words that I've never heard of, like architraves. And it's one of those things that I want to pick up in the Prime Day sales is they've got these vending machines, sort of like can pushers for your fridge. So I've got a massive ass, like, floor to ceiling fridge now, and I want to put in this vending machine pusher for cans of Coke. So I'm like sort of dedicating a whole row of fridge-ness to Coke, and that's part of my deal with Natasha when I bought the fridge. Is like, right, I'll buy it, but I want this fridge to have can pushing functionality. None of this wine rack shit. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't think there's much else to update you on. Like I say, it's a touch base episode. It's the 51% off this week alone. After that, I would say just keep an eye on my socials, keep an eye on the website as well. And if you know, share the pod. It's really good for me to hear you guys loving it. And like I say, it's only been like 1 year since the book released. I do often get questions actually about when's the second one coming. And because obviously I went to camp twice, that has been started, but the first book took so many years to create and edit and polish. I think you would really see it especially if you buy the paperback version. When you have it in your hand, it's a thick, chunky boy, and it's not like I've used big fonts. These are small ass fonts. Small ass fonts with a big chunky book. That's how I like them. And I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. 9 a.m, man. 9 a.m. Did I say it was 9 a.m? Oh, I've got a couple of events. What have I got? What was that all about? 7th anniversary of Pokemon Go. And then I've got Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres in Tier 5 raids. Thanks, Siri. Anyway. So yeah, I think that's all the updates. The second book it has been sort of started on. It's very early days, but it does take years to publish a book. It can't be something I just rush out, because then it just doesn't make sense. Like my first few versions of the book were. It has to be properly done, and that's sort of why I did the paperback, to be honest. I was so keen to actually get it as a physical copy, because there's so many summer camp things. I say so many. I think there's only a few summer camp books on Amazon or wherever you get your books from. And there's only so many that actually have them as a paperback. A lot of them just do ebook because it's like a shortcut, and then they turn out to be shit. I'm looking at you, George Horner. Oh God, I feel so bad. Just keep calling it out as a bad book. But I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if there's anything else I need to cover. There's a new book. There's a 50 fucking 1%. Oh my God. I've got, have I done a podcast about my other book? So it's kind of not related to summer camp at all. That might be why I might not have mentioned it. So I've actually released a second book. So when Rosie was born, I released a book dedicated to her called The Fly Who Flew Too High. And it's $6.99, I think, for a paperback version, which is like the standard price for a kid's book. And it's a picture book of a fly who wakes up one morning in a very loud garden, gets fed up of all of his neighbours making noise and waking him up, so he decides to fly away, and he flies up into the sky, and then he goes higher and higher, and he keeps going, and then he bursts through the atmosphere and starts flying around space and the solar system, and he goes and visits different planets. And it's a fun sort of original story that had always been on my mind in the for a couple of years. And yeah, if you want to go check that out, if you've got kids of your own, it's I really like it. It's got really good reviews, actually. It's crazy, you know. Like I'm at the age now where all of the work is starting to pay off. Doing these podcasts and making the effort of recording every week and optimizing the website. Oh God, sorry you had to hear that. Having the books out there, it's creates the audience, and then I get support from you guys, and it's I don't know, it's really nice to see that the belief that I sort of had to have in myself to release all this content is starting to pay off. And I think if you ever go to my own website, andrewwaterhouse.com, you see I ramble quite a lot about working hard or mental health struggles, or there's a lot of things like just ramblings of a madman a little bit on there. And to see that projects that I've always had a passion for starting to sort of pay off as I'm like I always call it like my midlife at the minute, 30 years old, you know, people live to say 80, so I've got like 10 years left until I don't know, I'm on the way down, literally. That's if you're lucky, you know. That's a bit morbid, isn't it, for 9 a.m. on a Sunday Sunday morning. Anyway, so it's nice, you know. It feels like I feel like there's a lot of pressure in society at the minute where you're having to compare yourself to others, and I don't know. Yeah, it's when you're comparing yourself to others, it doesn't get you anywhere. You have to just compare yourself to who you were before, and no one can compete with you when you're doing that. That's some real big lesson that I learned through reading books and educating myself and looking at the habits that I have, and really honing in on positive habits. And one of the positive habits, as all of you know, is read books. No one says, if you want to get yourself out of a mental health struggle, go watch some TV or go play video games. No one says that. They always say read books. And to have read a lot and written a lot as well, it's nice to see that you guys support me with that. So I'd like to thank you for purchasing. I'd like to thank you for tweeting me the messages that I get, and Facebook messages as well. I don't even have like a Facebook presence. I never push the Facebook following because I don't like Facebook at all, and that was one of the really bad habits that I found was draining my mental health like no tomorrow. Was I got rid of Facebook. But long story short, there's no place like summer camp Facebook page, but that's only to do some paid advertising, which doesn't really work. No one wants ads, so I much prefer to do podcasts and content and interviews and blog posts and that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know when I'll next see you. Like I say, a lot going on in my life at the minute, not meaning to brag or anything. It's just, sometimes these things just come at once, and here I am having a newborn, a new house, which is also a renovation in brackets, and also a new job. So it's like the trifecta of stress. It's like almost the it's almost the Avengers of stress. You just bring in the fucking super villains together. And that's what I've got going on at the minute. But I can see the way out. There are some times during all of this where I was just like, what are we doing? Why are we doing all this at the same time? And it was never meant to happen this way, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, that's a pigeon. Right, so standing in front of me right now, yeah? Oh, 5. Oh, that might be 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. I've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It might be 7, Let me just check. So, in front of me, I've got... Oh, shit. No way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoa, I've got 7 magpies in front of me. I'm not one for superstitions, I'm not one for superstitions, but the magpies, man, every time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No way. Oh my God, you're getting this breaking news here. I've got 8 magpies in front of me. So I'm not one for superstitions, but the magpies thing, I don't know why, it stuck with me. And this is going to be a fun ending. So I'm going to find out what 8 magpies means. It's 8. It's 8. 100% 8. Okay. Bear with. I bet there's some people, maybe the Gen Z of you, who have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm having a look. Let me just check this. Magpie. Meaning numbers. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so this better still be a thing. This can't just can't be me being old. So you got the 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret, never to be told. I don't know why I take it so serious, but magpies are the one thing that I'm just like, oh shit, there's fucking 25 magpies. No, it's never normally more than 7, but here we have 8, so I've had to Google it. So thanks for hanging around. 8 magpies are 8 for a wish. Okay, so what am I going to wish for? Let's have a think. I'm going to wish for... I have to one wish. It's so hard because I want to sort of tie 2 things together. I'll have a think on it. 8 for a wish. What would you wish for? Wish for another summer camp? I don't know. It's good to hang out with you guys. Speaking of wishing for summer camp, it dawned on me, I'm sure I've mentioned it in previous episodes, the Camp Wildfire, who were on Dragon's Den a couple of years ago now. But basically it was on the UK Dragon's Den, someone came up with an idea of doing adult summer camp experiences for people. And I don't think they got funding in the end. Spoiler alert. But it's always played on my mind, like, how nostalgic and how cool would it be? I don't know if cool's the right word. It's just full of adults. But a summer camp for adults in the UK, give that a bit of a try. So I went onto YouTube earlier, and I had a look at the people that were there and the reviews, and man, there's something about it that I'd love to give it a try, but at the same time, it's not going to be the summer camp that I remember. And that's part of the second book, really, is why it was only 2. Because summer camp, man, it's a drug. And here I am, 9 years later, since going to summer camp myself. And here I am in a bus stop in Manchester, talking about summer camp. But yeah, I've got 8 magpies here. My wish, I'll tell you the wish as well. I think I'm going to tell you. I know it's bad luck to tell, but more about the magpies, more about bonding with you guys. I'm going to wish for maybe Rosie to be healthy and happy. Something like that. Rosie to be healthy. I think that and happy is a second wish. Yeah, that'd be a good wish. Like I say, the stars are aligning, the books are out, the content's out, the ideas are coming. I'm in a lot clearer headspace as well. I think meditation. I could go on and on. I think I'm gonna cut the episode here. But like I say, get yourself into some healthy habits. If you aren't in the right place, I think get yourself into some healthy habits. Look at what's not clicking for you at the minute. Meditation's one that's really like honed me in personally, and sort of made me more grounded and present. And then just comparing myself to myself, not to others. Sort of, you should be happy for your friends to be successful and doing well. You shouldn't be sat there with envy because they're doing something that you're not, or they've got something that you don't have, or they've got it before you. That was a big thing for me when I used to be on Facebook, and I used to see people that were, say, in year 7 compared to when I was in year 11 at school, and they would be buying a house, and I was here struggling, having moved miles and miles away from Potter's Bar, to actually see, you know what? It's not about how soon they got it. You don't know the backstory of their granddad and grandma died and the inheritance went to them, or they won the lottery, or the dad is always in America working his arse off and he never sees the kids and he just sends over money. You don't know all that. But that took me a while to figure out. So if you are struggling, I'd say compare yourself to yourself, and maybe read Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a good book. And also read There's No Place Like Summer Camp. 51% off. All right, guys. Right, I'll see you in the next episode. I don't know when it will be, but I'm still around. I'm still alive. I'm still writing. I'm still talking. I need to end the episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow or subscribe wherever you're listening to. It's totally free. And if you want to check out more about There's No Place Like Summer Camp, go to there'snoplacelikeSummerCamp.com. All right, I'm going to love you and leave you, finally. It was a nice chat. Peace.